Most middle-class families aren't broke because they don't earn enough. They're broke because of 15 small habits that quietly drain everything they do earn. None of these habits look dangerous on their own. That's exactly why they work. This isn't about extreme frugality or never enjoying your money. It's about which 15 decisions are quietly working against you without your permission. Today, we're going through all 15 and exactly what to do instead of each one. We'll also show you exactly where Mike ends up if he fixes all 15. The number might surprise you. Avoid these, and the math genuinely starts working in your favor. Let's get into it. Meet Mike. Married, 2 kids, $95,000 household income, solidly middle class. On paper, Mike's doing fine. He's not reckless, not lazy, not bad with money on purpose. But by the time he's 55, Mike will have earned close to $3 million over his working life and have almost nothing to show for it. Here's exactly why. 15 habits, one at a time. But first, let's see exactly where Mike stands today before any of this gets fixed. Household income, $95,000 a year. Take home after tax, roughly $6,800 a month. Total debt across his car loan, credit cards, and everyday balances, around $58,000. Retirement savings after 12 years of full-time work, about $31,000. Mike's current net worth, home equity included, roughly $95,000. That's 12 years of steady work, a decent household income, and a net worth that's barely 1 year's salary. Keep that $95,000 number in mind. We're coming back to it at the end. Now, the 15 habits that got him here. Habit number 1, financing a brand new car every few years. Mike trades in every 4 years, always with a loan. Average payment, $650 a month. A new car loses roughly 20% of its value in the first year alone, before he's even made a dent in the loan. Over 30 working years, that's well over $200,000 in payments on things worth less the moment he drives them home. But I need something reliable for work. Sure, reliable doesn't mean new. A well-maintained used car is just as dependable for a fraction of the payment. The fix: buy reliable and used, drive it into the ground, and invest the difference instead. That single change alone, invested instead of financed, can be worth hundreds of thousands by retirement. Habit number 2, never actually tracking where the money goes. Mike could tell you his salary instantly. He couldn't tell you his net worth within $50,000. Money you don't track doesn't disappear, it just quietly goes somewhere you didn't choose. But I don't have time to track every expense. You don't need every expense. Just the big categories once a month takes under an hour. The fix: 1 hour a month. Just look at where it actually went. You can't fix a leak you've never located. Habit number 3, buying the biggest house the bank approves him for. Mike and his wife stretch to qualify. 38% of take-home pay going to the mortgage before taxes and maintenance. Most planners recommend staying closer to 25%. That extra 13% a month is over $1,000 that could have been invested instead. But the bank approved us for this much. Banks approve based on what you're able to pay, not on what leaves room to invest. Those are very different numbers. The fix: buy what fits comfortably on one income if you can, not the max both incomes qualify for. The house should support your life. It shouldn't be the whole plan. Habit number 4, waiting for the right time to start investing. Mike meant to start at 25. He actually started at 35. Once things settle down. Things never fully settle down. That's not a Mike problem, that's everyone's problem. Those 10 lost years, at even a modest return, are often worth more than everything he'll invest afterward combined. But I don't know enough about investing yet. A simple index fund doesn't require expertise. It requires consistency, which anyone can do starting today. The fix: start with whatever amount doesn't feel like enough to matter. It matters. Habit number 5, keeping real savings in an account paying basically nothing. Mike's had $18,000 sitting there for years, earning close to 0%. In a high-yield savings account, that same money could earn him $800 plus a year, doing absolutely nothing differently. But I want it liquid in case I need it. A high-yield savings account is just as liquid. It just also happens to pay you while it sits there. The fix: idle cash should at minimum be earning something. Moving it costs nothing. Habit number 6: carrying a credit card balance and paying only the minimum. At around 24% average interest, minimum payments can take over a decade to clear a balance and cost more than double the original amount. Mike's not maxed out. He's just never quite at zero either. That's enough for this to apply. But the minimum is all I can afford right now. That's exactly why this needs to be the first thing fixed before anything else on this list. The fix: treat any carried balance as a financial emergency, not a normal bill. Nothing else on this list matters as much until this one's handled. Habit number 7: upgrading his lifestyle every time his income goes up. Every raise Mike's gotten in 10 years has been absorbed within a few months. Nicer car, nicer dinners, nicer everything. His income has grown 40% over that time. His savings rate hasn't grown at all. But I earned this raise. I deserve to enjoy it. You can enjoy part of it. The habit isn't enjoying a raise. It's spending all of it, every time. The fix: when a raise comes in, move a chunk of it straight into investing before you ever see it in checking. Let your lifestyle grow slower than your income. The gap is where wealth actually comes from. Habit number 8: no real emergency fund. When Mike's transmission failed last year, the $2,400 repair went straight onto a credit card at 24% interest. A 3 to 6 month cushion means emergencies cost you the repair. Without one, they cost you the repair plus a year or more of interest on top. But investing gets better returns than a savings account sitting there until the exact month you need cash immediately and have to sell investments at a loss to get it. The fix: build this before you build almost anything else. It's what keeps every other plan on this list from collapsing the first time life happens. Habit number 9: trying to time the market instead of staying in it. Mike pulled everything to cash during the last downturn, just until things calmed down. He got back in 8 months later, after most of the recovery had already happened. But I was protecting myself from further losses. You were also protecting yourself from the recovery, which is exactly what ended up costing him. Missing just the 10 best market days over 20 years can cut your total returns roughly in half. The fix: pick a strategy, automate it, and stop watching it daily. Habit number 10: not contributing enough to get the full employer match. Mike's company matches up to 4%. He contributes 2%. That's not caution. That's turning down free money, guaranteed, every single paycheck. But I need that money in my paycheck right now. 2% of a paycheck rarely changes your month. Free money, guaranteed, absolutely changes your decade. The fix: at minimum, always capture the full match first. It's the only guaranteed return you'll ever be offered. Habit number 11: financing vacations and big purchases instead of saving for them first. Mike's family takes a nice trip every year, on a card paid off over the following 6 months, interest included. With interest and the lost investing time, that $4,000 trip is really closer to $5,500. But we work hard, we deserve the trip. Deserving a trip and financing a trip are two completely different questions. The fix: save first, travel with cash. If you can't save for it yet, you can't currently afford it. Habit number 12: relying entirely on one paycheck with no other income stream. Mike's entire financial life depends on one employer staying stable for 30 more years. But I already have a full-time job. This isn't about working more hours. It's about one asset or skill that isn't tied to a single employer. It doesn't have to be a business. Even one small secondary stream changes what a bad year actually costs you. The fix: build one skill or asset that can earn independently of your main job, even slowly. Habit number 13: not paying attention to investment fees. Mike's retirement account is in funds charging 1.2% a year. A comparable index fund charges 0.03%. Over 30 years, that difference alone can cost well into 6 figures for essentially identical market exposure. But my advisor picked these funds for me. Some advisors get paid more for recommending the expensive ones. Always worth double checking. The fix: Check what you're actually being charged. Low-cost index funds beat most expensive alternatives long-term anyway. Habit number 14. Spending to match the people around him, not his own actual goals. A coworker gets a new truck, and suddenly Mike's truck feels old. Even though it runs perfectly fine, you're not just competing with your neighbor's income. You're often competing with your neighbor's debt without knowing it. But it's just one truck, one trip, one dinner. It's never just one. It's the pattern, repeating every single time. The fix. Make spending decisions based on your own plan, not on what keeps pace with everyone else's. Most of what looks like wealth around you is just well-financed debt. Habit number 15. No real long-term plan, just a vague hope that it'll work out. Mike's never sat down and asked, how much do I actually need? And by when? Without a number, there's no way to know if you're on track, behind, or already fine. But I don't know what number I'll even need. Nobody knows exactly. A rough estimate still beats no target every time. The fix. Pick a number, even a rough one. It turns someday into something you can actually measure progress against. So, let's fast forward. Mike fixes all 15 of these, starting today. He keeps his current car years longer instead of trading up. He gets the full 401k match. He automates his investing and stops touching it. 5 years from now, his $58,000 in consumer debt is down near zero, paid off aggressively instead of drifting on minimum payments. His investments, boosted by the freed-up car payment, the captured match, and lower fees, have grown past $145,000. Add his home equity, and Mike's net worth goes from $95,000 today to somewhere around $230,000 in just 5 years. Same income, same job, same family. A completely different trajectory, just from redirecting 15 leaks that were always fixable. That's not 15 years of sacrifice. That's 5 years of 15 small corrections. Before we get to where Mike ends up, let's add up the real damage from everything we just covered. The car, over $200,000 across a working lifetime. The oversized house, $1,000 plus a month, every single month. 10 lost years of not investing, often worth more than every year invested afterward, combined. The idle $18,000, leaving at least $800 a year on the table, doing nothing. Minimum credit card payments, more than double the original cost over a decade or more. Lifestyle inflation, an entire raise, gone every single time. No emergency fund, turning a $2,400 repair into a compounding balance. Panic selling, cutting 2 decades of returns roughly in half. The missed 401k match, free guaranteed money, declined. Financed vacations, paying $5,500 for a $4,000 trip. One income stream, an entire plan resting on a single employer. Ignored fees, 6 figures over 30 years for the exact same investments. Keeping up with the neighbors, quietly funding someone else's highlight reel. No target number, no way to ever know if someday is actually on track. Individually, each one looks small. Together, they're the entire gap between Mike and financial independence. Before we wrap up, a quick gut check. How many of these 15 apply to you? Do you know your exact net worth right now, within a few $1,000s? When your last raise landed, did your spending go up before your investing did? Is there a credit card balance that's been temporary for over a year? Are you getting your full employer match or leaving free money on the table like Mike was? If 2 or 3 of those stung a little, that's useful information, not an insult. Mike didn't plan on a $95,000 net worth after 12 years of full-time work. It happened one small, reasonable-looking habit at a time. Which means, like we just showed you, the fix also happens one habit at a time. Here's the thing about all 15 of these. None of them are really about being bad with money. They're about defaults nobody ever sat down and questioned. Fix even 5 or 6 of these, and the trajectory changes completely. Not because you started earning more, but because less of what you already earn quietly leaks out. Mike's household income was never the actual problem. It was where the money went without him deciding. That's true for almost every middle-class household stuck in place. Pick one from this list. Fix it this month, then pick the next one. If this was useful, hit subscribe. We break down one money story like this every week